Two guys that I thought really helped their case. I still don't think they're by any means a roster lock. One of them is your guy, Isaiah Hodgins, man. I really liked him a lot. It looks like it's going to be him versus Jake Kumerow.
Yeah.
Assuming they keep 6. I mean, if they were to keep 7, then they both maybe can make the team. And it's worth noting too. So Isaiah's role to his path to this team is going to be also being able to play special teams.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it might have been Joe Biscalio. I think I read pointer, or no, it was Sal Capaccio, actually. I'm sorry. He played 8 snaps on special teams where Jake didn't play any, but they already know what Kumerow could do on special teams, so I'm sure. Right. But my point is they are giving him a look at special teams. He certainly got the job done catching the football. I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about this guy too, man. I'm starting to like his chances. I don't think he's a lock, like I said, like a Benford or a
not yet
Punt God are, but
not yet.
Looking good, man. He impressed me Saturday.
So we're seeing everything that we heard in 2020, right, from OTAs and minicamp when they said that this kid we think is better than Gabriel Davis. Now Gabriel Davis went late, so we know that he was projected to go higher than 4, where he went 4th round. Isaiah Hodgins was also projected to go higher than where he went in the 6th round of the Bills, but he also had a shoulder injury, which there's a lot of people that feel like that's why. And sure enough, the Bills drafted him in the 6th round, and they shut him down to get his shoulder right. Last year in preseason, people forget this, he had a PCL strain. So he missed the first, whatever it was, 6 weeks of the season on IR, temporary IR, and then he went to the practice squad where he's been. The kid is just patient, and he knows he's humble, and he knows who he is as a player, and he knows what he's bringing to the game. He knows his skill set. He knows who he is, and he knows who he's not. He's an NFL legacy player. His dad played in the NFL, and I promise you, I guarantee you, and Fina there are guys chasing Fina's kid because Fina played in the NFL. That legacy stuff means something.
Absolutely.
To coaches and scouts, and he's a legacy player. But we're beginning to see what he's got and why at Oregon State I don't think he dropped hardly any balls in his career at Oregon State. We watched him in that football game snatch one out of the air, a ball that Jamison Crowder tipped and got intercepted. We watched him fall to the ground and catch a ball. We saw him bust open and make a dive to catch a ball. Like, the kid can catch the football. He also brings a different body type. He's a little bit of a different body type. He's more similar to Kumerow than he is to Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is a little bit shorter and he's gotten stocky, whereas Isaiah is more thick on the bottom and a little bit taller. Kumerow is tall as well, but he's a rail. Like, Kumerow's a rail. But to the special teams point, they're going to give him every chance, and they have been from what I've seen at camp. I've gone 5 times. They're going to give him, and I went to the red versus blue game. They're going to give him every chance to make this football team. And his path, to your point, well said, is going to be through special teams. They had him. I saw him on camp being a gunner. I saw him defending gunners. I saw him on the punt, the punt team on the line of scrimmage. So basically bringing a guy into his body, pushing him out, and then ripping him to the ground, and then taking off. In the football game on Saturday, he was the quarterback of the punt team, where he's the linebacker position, calling out whatever it is he's supposed to call out. He's been all over as far as that goes. So they're trying to find out what his versatility is. This is what I would tell you about that. Speaking to him, he has told me he's one of very few wide receivers on the Bills team that knows every wide receiver position. So he knows the route trees for every position. And if you remember, that's what they talked about Gabe Davis and Isaiah Hodgins. These kids are smart, and they know football, and they know this offense almost better than anybody else does. Isaiah Hodgins also was the guy in camp that literally before Crowder came back and before Kumerow came back, because Kumerow was injured as well, he was the X2 behind Stephon Diggs, and he was also in the slot. He was the only guy that I saw in the first couple weeks of camp that was playing right number 2 behind Diggs and also was moving to the slot. Nobody else was moving to the slot from the outside. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, but I would bet dollars to donuts the reason they're moving him all over in special teams is he knows his assignments, and they're basically testing him. But the question is going to come down to, do the Bills want to keep Kumerow? Everybody loves Kumerow. The team, as far as I know, loves Kumerow. Obviously, the Packers, Aaron Rodgers wants Kumerow. So if he gets cut tomorrow, we know where he's going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to keep a guy that's 30 years old that fumbled the football on Saturday? And that stuff matters in training camp and preseason. Or do they want to keep a guy that's young that could be here for the next 4, 5, 6 years that the team also loves? And McDermott talked about that in his press conference. He said that the team loves this kid. He's a great, wonderful human being. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how that battle goes, for sure.
one guy, before I get to the other guy who I was really high on, I'm kind of switching gears here a little bit because it relates to that position. Jamison Crowder's been hurt for a lot of camp, so he hasn't really done much. He didn't do much on Saturday. In fact, he probably should have caught a ball and ended up intercepted. Not a good throw, but still could have came down with it. I still say, though, that it comes down to Isaiah or Jake for that sixth spot, assuming they keep six. Because I know a lot of people are down on him right now, but I don't. Jamison Crowder's not going anywhere. And the biggest reason why I mean, you never know. I mean, you might sound like an idiot 2 weeks from now by saying that. I don't think he's going anywhere. And the biggest reason is this. You know who he is already. And Isaiah McKenzie is going to start in the slot, but Isaiah McKenzie gets nicked up. He's small. He's been hurt a couple times. So you don't know if you're going to have him for a full season. And as high as everyone is on Shakir, and by the way, I'm not going to mention him, guys that I'm high on. I already was high on him going into this game. Yeah. So that's why I don't mention him. He's obviously a lock. But my point is he's a rookie, and I still think he's going to be brought along slowly. There's no salary cap reason. They're not up against the cap. There's no financial real advantage to cutting Jamison Crowder right now. So even if he's not that day one slot receiver starter, he's an established veteran that there's just no benefit to me to cutting him. Especially again, when you got someone like McKenzie who could get hurt and who's also never had a big role in the offense before. This will be his first time. And then you got a rookie. That's why I don't think Jamison Crowder is going anywhere.
I can't disagree with anything you just said. The only reason that they could possibly cut him is because they absolutely don't want to let go of Kumerow, and they absolutely don't want to let go of Isaiah Hodgins. Because if Isaiah Hodgins, we already know Kumerow gets cut, he's not going to the practice squad. He's going to Green Bay. And if Isaiah Hodgins puts 2 more games together, or even 1 more game together like he did on Saturday, if he gets cut, he's not going to be in Buffalo either. He's going somewhere.
That's true.
So,
I mean, maybe Isaiah, if he's really, really impressive, maybe they could say, you know what, he could do what Jamison Crowder could do too. I mean, he just thought about being younger, cheaper. Well, there you go.
He can play the slot too. He can. He did it he's done it in camp a lot this year. He can play the slot. But yes, I don't think that's where they want him. Although he is a matchup nightmare for a nickel corner. But yeah.
Look at that. You're making me retract my own take that I just made about 30 seconds ago about Jamison Crowder being a lock. Maybe he will be going somewhere. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. The other guy that I really liked a lot is Balin Spector. And I want to tell a real quick story about this as well.